Welcome back to another video. So in today's one, we're going to go through the 80-20 principle of email marketing. So I'm going to preface this video with the fact that this is probably not going to be for brands at the high 7-figure level, 8-figure level or whatever, doing really good numbers. This strategy is going to be mainly for people who probably have a bit of time and they don't really have the budget to spend on an email marketing agency or to bring someone in-house. This isn't to say that it's not going to be completely for the high performing brands as well, because this is also really important. But if you're a bit obviously stuck on budget, you have a bit of time to put into your email marketing, these are going to be the things that you should actually focus on that will provide 80% of the results. So we're going to focus on the 20% of your strategy that's going to produce 80% of the results. Basically, there's no point in A/B testing the third email of, let's say, a customer win back flow if you're not going to be getting much traffic through that if you're a lower volume brand. So the majority of your focus should probably go into something like the welcome series, where you're going to get a lot of traffic through. You're going to get a lot of traffic through that. So you're going to have more data to work with there, rather than maybe a customer win back flow, third email. There won't be an enormous amount of traffic going through that on a daily basis. So this is what we're going to focus on. So just moving on to the next slide, if it even works. So have you ever wondered why some brands' email marketers achieve incredible results while others struggle? It all comes down to this, the 80-20 principle. So just before we get into that as well, so just some of our credentials and my credentials. Our agency has produced over 2 million in client revenue over the last 12 months. Here are some of the results. We'll skip over that. It's just to show that I actually do know what I'm talking about. Now, first things first is you have to have good deliverability. So why does that matter? Basically, you can have the best strategy in the world, the best looking email designs, the best written copy in the world. You could even have the best copywriter in the world on your emails. If they're not landing in your customer's inbox, it doesn't matter. They won't see it and they won't buy from it. So deliverability is really the foundation for everything. So what can you do to ensure that you actually have good deliverability? So number one, set up a dedicated sending domain. Make sure that you warm up the email account correctly. You don't blast your full list straight away when you move over to that new domain. What this essentially means is, rather than sending from, let's say, Klaviyo's shared domain, you're moving that onto your own domain. So you have control over your own deliverability. So I'd strongly recommend doing that. And it's something that we do for all of our clients. Secondly, then as well, just sending content that's relevant to your audience. A good example of this would be, because I'm of the time of recording, it's Black Friday. If you're sending emails, let's say for a sale, and a customer purchases on a Friday, which is today, and then you have another email coming out tomorrow, which is a reminder, you probably will want to exclude customers who have purchased from the first email because you're just going to annoy them. So that's kind of an example of relevant content. You don't want to send content that will annoy people, or content that just has nothing to do with the customer's interest or helping them out, essentially. So examples of relevant content could be giving them tips about how to best use the product. If it's fashion, showing off different types of styles, different types of outfits that you could wear certain t-shirt or a certain jacket with. Then thirdly as well, so sending primarily to engaged contacts, do not send to your entire list. Now, there are certain circumstances where you might send to your master list. An example of this would be in the lead up to Black Friday, we were primarily sending to engaged customers, but we do want to send to the full list at some stage so we can give customers the chance to come into those engaged segments, give them the chance to engage with those emails. You wouldn't be doing this on the regular. So think about this, the three points: dedicated sending domain, relevant content, and also primarily sending to engaged contacts. Now we're going on to the 4 pillars. So these are the 4 pillars that we follow. This is our process that we do at our agency, and it's really, really simple. So it's attract, convert, retain, optimize. So first things first, once your deliverability is sorted, email and SMS marketing is going to be nothing without a contact list, right? If you don't have a list to send to, the results are going to be slow, right? So you need to grow your list quickly. So how can you grow your list? You can obviously have a pop-up form set up on your website. You can have a footer on your website. You can also collect consent at the checkout. You can use other methods, such as having subscription links, which you can share on social media. Works really well for SMS. So for example, some of our clients might put up a story on their Instagram saying early access to whatever sale. So let's say, for example, early access to a Black Friday sale, sign up for our SMS here. They click the link, it brings them straight to their messages on their phone so they can sign up for SMS. If they're on desktop, they'll be brought to a form to put in their details. So there's a few ways in which you can grow that list quicker, just without solely relying on a pop-up form. The second then is going to be converting those customers. So once they're into your list, how are you going to convert them? We'll talk about a bit about that in a minute with the welcome series. But like once they're in your list, yeah, what do? You have some automations such as your welcome series to obviously welcome them to the brand and try to get them to purchase inevitably. You'll also have automations that will retarget those customers as well. So if they, let's say, for example, click in the welcome series email, they add to the checkout, now they'll go into the abandoned checkout flow. So we have these set up to obviously try to convert the customer. And if they go to the checkout, try and retarget that customer then. Then retain. So once they make the purchase, so let's say it's their first time purchase, how do we get that customer to come back? Now, this is going to vary drastically depending on what brand you're running. So for example, the majority of our clients are going to be in the health, beauty, supplement niches. They're consumable products. So like on average, customers will purchase those products between 60 and 90 days. That's generally going to be the gap between purchases. So we would look at the data, like basically that tells us how often customers will come back. And then we will time our emails, our retargeting emails after they purchase to fit those time delays. So for example, if it takes 30 days for a customer to consume a product, there's no point in asking them for a reorder on day 10. They haven't even probably got the chance to use the product fully. And even if you contacted them on the 30th day, might be a bit too soon as well, depending on the brand. But with retain, what I'm talking about here is setting up your post-purchase sequences. This just isn't the post-purchase flow. But that being said, the post-purchase flow should do the bulk of your retention for you. And again, I will say that like retention won't solely come down to email marketing or SMS marketing as well. That obviously has a lot to do with the product experience that the customer has, their overall experience with the brand. Email and SMS is just a communication channel that we use to improve the retention, but it's not the be all and end all. Then finally, we have optimize. So once we have all this, like once we have step 1 to 3 set up, we don't just set and forget it. We're constantly optimizing. You should be setting up A/B tests. But again, coming back to the original point, if you are, let's say, a brand owner between maybe 10K, 30K, 40K, and you mightn't have the budget to hire an agency or bring it in-house yet, I'd suggest A/B testing the correct things. So for example, going back to our previous example there a while ago, we wouldn't really be moving the needle forward much if we were to try to optimize, like hyper optimize our third email in the customer win back flow, because the volume isn't going to be huge there. You should primarily focus on probably A/B testing your pop-up form, first of all, focusing on the offer. Don't focus on stupid things like, the color of the button or whatever. Focus on the offer, really, on the pop-up form. Then obviously you want to test things such as your welcome series, abandoned checkout, browse abandonment, cart abandonment. They're your core flows that you probably should be testing. Anything else really isn't going to move the needle forward for you that much if you don't have a huge amount of volume. Again, if you are a 7-figure brand owner watching this, like obviously you have much more volume going through your business. So I would definitely recommend testing stuff like that. But this is just from the perspective of if you don't have the budget, you don't have an outrageous amount of time either to spend on your email marketing, this is kind of going to be the strategy to follow. So next, we'll just dive a bit deeper into how to actually accelerate the list growth. So we already spoke about some of that. Crafting irresistible offers is going to be the main needle driver there for especially your pop-up form. Optimizing those sign-up forms, so just making sure that they're mobile friendly. Cross-pollination as well, so using like social media channels to push people into that email and SMS list. Again, convert and retain. So these are going to be the flows that are going to probably produce most of your revenue. If you have your post-purchase done correctly as well, this could actually be within the top 3 revenue generating flows for your brand. It's not unusual for some of our clients to have it as the second highest revenue generating flow. Then you'll want to focus on sending 2 to 4 campaigns per week to the following segments. So again, remember that we were speaking a while ago about primarily sending to your engaged contacts, but don't forget splitting your messaging up between buyers, non-buyers, VIPs, and obviously win back opportunities as well. You don't want to leave people who have purchased not getting campaigns when they should probably be getting them. Obviously, I don't mean sending those people a lot of campaigns just after they've ordered, but make sure that you're timing that correctly. And again, coming back to A/B testing, the optimization, 3 key things that you should probably focus on is the pop-up form offers, your campaign send times as well, because that's going to be really important. And as well, if you don't have a huge list, it might take you a bit longer to find your optimal send time. So I'd suggest doing that as soon as you can. And then obviously the high volume flows. So again, going back to your welcome series, if we just go back a bit, A/B testing these flows here, because they're probably going to be the highest revenue generating flows, or highest volume flows, I should say. You wouldn't even actually probably get much out of A/B testing the hell out of your customer win back. I'd primarily focus on your welcome series, cart, checkout, browse, to be honest. Maybe your post-purchase. Now, finally, look, this is not a complete email marketing setup. However, if you want to focus on these basics, you'll definitely go a long way. The key to actually getting good results with email marketing is nailing the basics. And that is why we get such good results for our clients, because we don't try to over-optimize parts of the funnel that aren't going to drive the needle forward that much. We focus on the basics, the pop-up forms, your campaign frequency, your highest volume flows. That's what you should really be focusing on. So hopefully you found this video useful. If you have any questions or anything like that, drop them down in the comments below. And again, yeah, hope you enjoyed. Like to keep this short and sweet, and pop any questions down below. I'll be glad to help.